For those who loved Senator Kennedy, it was an emotional day. This day he left home for the final time. As Kennedy's motorcade traveled from his home in Hyannisport to Boston, Massachusetts, much like his brothers before him, hundreds of people lined the route for their view of this moment in history. This part of the journey ends at the Kennedy Presidential Library in Boston, where people can pay their respects ahead of a private funeral Saturday. President Barack Obama will deliver a eulogy. At Arlington National Cemetery, workers quietly prepare for Kennedy's burial here near Washington, D.C. Saturday. The senator, nicknamed Ted, will lie here next to his brothers, the late Senator Robert and President John F. Kennedy. And visitors, as they do every day, stop and reflect.
To the American people in politics, I think he was a social voice. He cared about the folks that were needy, that needed help.
At 77 years old, Senator Kennedy died of a brain cancer Wednesday. During his nearly 47 years in the U.S. Senate, he worked towards increasing the minimum wage and fought for the rights of women and minorities. Felina from Britain says his legacy extended beyond borders.
You know, being a woman of colour, the impact that he's had on relations in the UK, and obviously the effects that has had over history. So I think obviously the linkage is obviously there, and the struggle in both countries.
The senator was known as a liberal politician. Political leaders praised Kennedy for his ability to reach across party lines for legislation on health care, civil rights, and education. He died before seeing final action on health care reform, a cause he fiercely championed.
Here's a dynasty that's gone by the wayside. There's really no younger Kennedys that I see come up that have the charisma and the power that the three brothers had.
At this gravesite, Senator Kennedy buried one brother, President John F. Kennedy, in 1963, the victim of an assassination. 5 years later, he returned to bury Senator Robert Kennedy, who was also assassinated. The man known as the Lion of the Senate will soon rest here as the last Kennedy brother passes into history. Elizabeth Lee, VOA News.